West of What is a round-table conversation inspired by Mother Earth's call for more landwork ceremonies to happen. This is a podcast where spirituality lands into politics, history, culture, and more because land is where we all meet. We want to know how we can come into greater connection with the land and each other, and how we can all move forward with integrity. We believe the answers and solutions will come from many voices, from the truths that happen inside of our togetherness. Hello and welcome to West of What, and I'm so excited and honored to say that we have Samaher Alqadi with us. She is a Palestinian filmmaker and screenwriter, born as one of 9 children in the ALJalazone refugee camp near Ramallah in the occupied West Bank. She is an emerging voice in Arabic documentary filmmaking, focusing on powerful narratives that explore the evolving status of women and dissident artists in the Middle East. Her work often delves into personal experiences and sheds light on the realities of life in Palestine. Her first feature-length documentary, As I Want, has been screened at more than 100 international festivals and has won 18 awards, including Best Film and Best Audience Award at the International Festival des Femmes in Paris, as well as recognition from the Bordeaux International Film Festival. Through words left unsaid to her late mother, As I Want examines the chains of her childhood and highlights the power of women in revolutionary struggles against all odds. I have had the privilege of seeing this film. I cannot tell you how important this conversation is going to be. And my intention for this episode is that it resources the force of your own inner feminine to anybody that is listening. Unfortunately, Ekbalu cannot be here because he has flu, but I feel that maybe this should be a women-only conversation anyway. Maybe the men need to listen.
We need to include them sometime. It's part of the development, the idea of feminist. We need more male to be feminist.
But maybe they need to just listen.
Engage. It's good for them to engage so they learn. They need like men, they think they know a lot, but actually I don't think they know as much. They think as much they think that we know. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
It's important to engage them, even though that sometimes it's better for them also to listen. And I think listening is part of the engagement anyway.
So why did you make a film about women?
To be honest with you, it's very funny you asking me this question, because I remember this question has been running a lot when I was doing interview in the media from 2021 all the way until beginning of 2024, actually. And even in the film, when I was filming, they were a woman, English woman, doing a film about women in Egypt, an artist woman in Egypt. And I used some of this footage because she was asking about, I was still in the working progress of the film, and she saw the trailer. And I remember my answer, and it's funny that it never changed, this answer, because I think it was true. I did not choose to make a film about women. The film and what happened around me chose me. And it's happening again now with the film I'm working on. The same. The film chose me. I say that because I remember myself long time ago. I think it's because what I have went through in my life as a Palestinian, but also as a woman and as a child of 9. I have learned that no one will scratch your skin except your own hand. And for that, I did believe with a lot of associations and organizations and places like supporting women and women movement, and there are a lot of places out there helping violence against women and aggression against women and tradition and all of that, and they're doing great job. But with my experience, I feel like it's, I don't know, for me, I felt like it's us. It's about us to start to make the change. It's each individual person, and in my case, each individual woman. Uh, but with this film, I get involved personally with
I mean, your life is in the film. When I think of the film, I think of you with
yes,
your son. I
yes.
think of you with your son.
That's why I
That's the
say
thing I think of is you so in love with your son.
it's
That's
it's
the
it's
clip I
it's
think of.
for me. It's the I say the film chose me or the subject chose me. I'm not saying this out of nothing. It's because what happened at that time in Tahrir Square and to all this women in the incident of all of this women, and it happened to one of my best friend, like her son plays with my son, and it put me in so much anger. And this anger, I think it wasn't only about what happened in Tahrir Square or what happened to women in general. I think this anger and what happened to them made me open my own anger and search for what make me actually do this film is what happened also to me in my childhood as a girl and as a woman.
And can you explain to anybody listening? Because what I gauged from the film was that the event that happened in the square was something that is known about. It's known about in Egypt. It's like saying 9/11 or coronavirus. But as a
But yeah,
Westerner, but as somebody from England, I didn't know about it because the media doesn't cover the lives of women in other countries in England. And so
you know, sorry, continue.
and so for anybody listening that doesn't understand what happened in the square, are you able to share?
You know, if you search online about what happened in details and in the background of the main incidents, you will find nothing in the
Really?
internet. You will find nothing in Wikipedia. You will find only some little videos. Some of them get deleted from YouTube. That has to do with the, I think, Egyptian girls. But you will find some incidents of a journalist from United States or from the UK, or you will find some little videos of incidents happen here and there that won't clarify the whole image and where it comes from and why we achieved to that point. And for that, I am grateful and proud to document a lot of things that happened at that moment, and also come on to the how you say thankful for all of this women that they trusted me and they engaged in telling the story. Some of them are in the film and a lot are not in the film because of security reasons. And why I'm saying this, because I did try to, when I was doing the edit for the final cut, I needed everything to be really honest and in dates and in time. In some are famous things known about the subject, but I didn't find nothing. I had to go back again in my own writing in paper and connecting all my friends that they were in the film or not in the film to give me incident by incident and date by date to until I achieved to the time of the edit. I did not find nothing about that. Go ahead and search. If you found, send me. You will find some here and there videos, maybe here and there. I don't think you will find some really details about what happened at that moment in Tahrir Square and the revolution in general, basically.
And it was a protest about women it was women turning up to a protest about them not wanting to be abused, right? Or not wanting to be harassed.
Well, it was, this started, it was parallel. It was the revolution, and it was everybody in the street, but then they start to attack the woman. They thinking to reduce the amount of the people in the street. And of course, people will get scared for their girls and their women to go to demonstrate, and then other revolutionary people start to say, yeah, but it's not the time to talk about that. Then it was before us or for the woman. It was really, it's like flipping the table upside down. So they went into the street to demonstrate against what happened to them, and for their right, but also they are the one to take off the whole brotherhood state in less than 1 year. The amount of women in the street gathered together, because it was a lot of things happening parallel. So it was for the violence against them, but also was for the fact of the liberty and democracy and all of this kind of things in general.
And from what I understand, the government were paying thugs to go in and abuse the women in that square. Is that correct?
I have no official paper to say that. And do not forget, there were 3 government change in less than 2 years. According to the revolution start, Mubarak left. Then they put a guide for early election until they do the election. So we had this, I forget his name, you see, I don't remember this guy that he was the temporary president until the election. And then the election happened, and then in all this time, they were always protest. They were always crowd. They were always crowd in downtown, crowd in everywhere in Cairo. And you don't know in which crowd, which party or government. There were no actually government at that moment, because it was chaos. So between Mubarak, the temporary president, whatever they call it in English, come, and then made the election, and then the Ikhwan, and then after the Ikhwan, the other movement that the woman played a big role to kick out the Ikhwan. So it was happening in all this time. So I have no idea who did it, but I do know that this is a weapon being used not only in Cairo, all over the world, in any conflict, in any revolutionary movement, in any movement, in the war as well. They go for women and children to hurt the people. That's what they do. And I won't be surprised if 3 of them did this. Like, I don't know who specifically. It could be the government of the Brotherhood. It could be the government of after Mubarak, or after the Brotherhood fall down. It was an incident in the night of the celebration of the failing of the Brotherhood, where Sisi was chosen to take over, and he goes to take a bouquet of roses to the hospital to the girl. She was violently, bloody raped in Tahrir Square. So who did it exactly? I don't have an official paper or response for that. All I know that the patriarchy, in any form of name you can put, they can do this. They do that. Yes, and they do it in all cultures, not only in the Middle East.
And historically, it is done in every race.
Exactly.
I mean, I would argue from an energy point of view that whether it's conscious, there is a taking of the power that happens by taking the women in that way.
Exactly, there is a power, and I think this power, it's an historical power. It's an biological power.
It's an energetic power. Yeah,
the power that the woman had it doesn't really satisfy the manpower. So the man has to produce another power to dominate. And I think this power, it has to do with birth, the power of birth, I think. And that's why I linked to that a little bit in the film.
And also possibly land. Like I feel as we're talking that you can't take land without taking the women.
The women are
The women are the land, you know. Like
the Mother Earth, Aslan.
Yeah.
They are the Mother Earth. Earth is land.
Why I feel All I Want is an important film for people to watch, though.
As I Want,
forgive me, sorry. Why I feel As I Want is an important film for people to watch is because when I watched it, it really brought into my awareness the conditioned prejudice that I have or had towards women in the Arabic world, because I remember being amazed at how much this film shows the strength and the fierceness and the courage of the Arabic women, and recognizing within myself that I have this conditioning from the West that they are suppressed and weak and meek. And I remember being like, these women are braver than women in the West.
They give me power to do this. They give me power. They give me power to open up all the issues and the anger that I have went through since my childhood, to vomit a lot of things that make me who I am, being worried about my body, being scared of someone will abuse me, someone will abuse me by just exposing my hair, the question of the woman body, it's always a fear for the woman. And they managed to break this fear inside me. And I'm not surprised they did the same to you. And they did the same to each one watched the film, even men all over the world. Not because it's my film. It does what is very special about this film, that it's very honest. It's very honest. And it puts the finger in the button that hurt, that question. That says something to a lot of people, and it all comes from the problem of our problem in the whole world about the woman body as well, how it's sacred but at the same time mubah, how you say mubah in English, like available. It has to be available. It has to be available for men. It's normal to be available, and you don't have to talk about it, and you don't have to say this is a problem or etc., etc. I cut your conversation maybe, but yes, those moments make me feel grounded, totally grounded, make me feel really strong and brave to face what they're facing, what I have faced, what you probably faced, what a lot of women have faced all over the world. From the same subject, basically. Yes, they are strong.
But these women, they're not afraid to feel it. That's what I noticed in the film. Like, they're willing to feel it with everything that they are. The injustice, the problem, you see them feeling it. Does that make sense? Feeling it and facing it. I mean, I don't know. You know,
I think they always felt it, and know it. But it was the outrage about it that went too far with really young. It doesn't matter young or old. It went really outrage, and for them it was also this euphoria of revolution and the adrenaline of.
Yeah.
And what a switch, it's not that they feel it always, and they know it always. We do, all of us. It's the decision of reacting and facing it, react against it and face it with no fear of the shame, basically. That's the problem. I think our problem always in this kind of topic is the shame. We always scared because we feel shame. We feel shame of telling someone actually put his hand in my butt, someone touched my tit, someone I was someone raped me. Someone We have this shame thing that we grow and raised
Why do
with.
you think we have shame?
Again, because we've been shamed by our body. Our body as women, we always raised to be shamed or scared or worried, and don't show that, don't show this, don't. And this is not only in the Middle East. I'm sorry, when I show it in Paris, the girls, they told me, we need you in Paris, we need you in Berlin. We want to wear our hot shorts with no problem. We want to be who we want to be without being judged just because of our body and what we wear and what we want to be, basically. That's where it comes from. You have to be decent while walking, and you have to be decent. So you can't go and be with a t-shirt like this in a meeting. Then all the men will, nothing will happen to you, but a lot will happen at the same time, because they will make you feel uncomfortable just because one of your shoulders shows a little bit more than it should be in the frame of what you should show and what you shouldn't show. And for me, I always thought the extreme, like even the cover of the face, when you cover all your face totally, they have they have problems in Europe and Western countries with women covering their face. I don't think that they should have a problem with that. Everyone
No.
is free to cover or uncover. And again, it's the subject of woman, the
Yeah.
body of the woman, the object of that body of the woman. We've been raised. You don't tell me. What do you think? How you been? Of course, there's a lot of people, they've been raised to be free, but they live in a society make them uncomfortable. If you sit in a meeting room with 10 men and you another woman only, or you alone, wherever you are open-minded, you put tattoos here, you wear this here, you wear there. I don't know. At some point, you will feel uncomfortable because you've been looked at as an object, not as a brain or as someone equal with the person next to you. And
Absolutely.
I hope we will stop talking about that because it's so exhausting. I have other matters to think of, like the time now this film has went out and it chose me and I did it, and I am so grateful that I show it all over the world except Egypt. Egypt, the only country I couldn't show it in Egypt. And this is
I
why.
watched it in Egypt.
Yes, this is why the girls, they were surprised. None of my friends saw the film. I smuggled it by link to my close friends, and I told Fatma she can do a screening in Cairo. But even the big people in the industrial, they were scared to show it. When the film was premiered in Berlin Alley, the premiere was in the Berlin Alley. You imagine, in the Berlin Alley, everyone was running after me after. Even the international Cairo International Film Festival, Gona International Film Festival. But then when I sent them the link, they didn't contact me back. I did the Arabic premiere in Tunis and won the best prize, and they have a woman prize there that she died while fighting whatever. Again, so I don't know why we want to this, but in the end, I would love me and a lot of women to stop being worried and talk about other subject that has nothing to do with equality and with judgmental of our body and all of this. I hope so, because it's ridiculous. We are khalas, like 2025 now. Leave us alone. and connect with earth, connect with land, connect with the nature, connect with us, because without us, this world will never continue.
I mean, in some ways, I feel like the shame you could translate to the space between us collectively and the land. You know, it's like the way we are collectively as a society treating women, and I include women in this because, like you say, the judgment that people have about women covering up is it's all part of it. It's unfortunately most people I meet are children of the patriarchy, as much as they try not to be, you know, and it's I feel like we have this unease with women and how to treat them and how to create equality because actually we need the woman, the feminine, to be the leader, and while there is patriarchy in place, there is always going to be this distortion because Mother Earth needs to be our leader.
Yeah, but you see, the patriarchal is controlling everything, not only women, because if you look at the world and how it's been dealt with, its own patriarchal way of dealing with it. I tell you what to do.
Yeah.
You stop the war. You start the war. You occupy this land. You free this land. It's this patriarch. How many women in the leader of the world? Very, very little. And even the women, sometimes they get into the power. There is also this patriarchal. It's I tell you what to do. I tell you what to say. And to connect this with the land, if you think about it, I'm making a new I am working in a new project now. The new project. Again, the new project is choosing me. I am not choosing the project. Normally I'm working in a fiction project that I love, and it's finally I want to do some fiction, imaginary, of course, all come from life experience. But then I had this, as I told you last time, I was in Palestine in an art residency to work in my fiction project. And I was filming all the time, filming just the road and the checkpoints between Bethlehem and Ramallah, like 5 checkpoints in less than 30-minute distance in a normal life. With
5 checkpoints within
5 checkpoints
within 30 minutes.
within fucking 35 minutes of a distance. Can you imagine? This is land. This is a land of destruction. They destroying everything. Under what? Under the name of what? We can keep on talking about our women issue, but I think the whole world is involved in a bigger picture of patriarchy to destroy this planet, basically. They want to destroy this planet. I walk around, I filmed a lot. I filmed my friends in Bethlehem. I filmed my sister in Ramallah. I filmed the checkpoint. I was filming, not thinking I'm making a film. I am filming because for me, they are living. While you go there, if you stay there for a month, let's say minimum, I mean, once you go there, you see the fucked up life. Yeah, you see the distraction, you see the destroying, you see the violence, you see everything. But a month makes you see how unnormal life it's becoming normal. How I become a distance from a reality I come from. How my sister walk her son to school, just cross the street, while there is tanks, jeeps, checkpoints, and he's just supposed to cross the street in his own. He's almost 10 years old. No, she has to, because he can be shot. And what does this all connect? How does it connect to my life living in south of France, in this beauty, in this portrait of peace that has been built from colonizing other countries, by the way, just like England, just like all these empires of countries. And I look to the olive tree here, and to the grape tree here, and to the fig tree here. And I understand why I choose to live in South France. It's just because it reminds me so much of my land, Palestine, a lot. It's this olive, this grape, la feuille de vigne, they call it in French. The feuille de vigne is the leaf of the grape. Each home I enter in Palestine, you enter, and my sister, she's cooking the mawara ainab. You go to my friend, they wara ainab. And I want to connect these two countries, Palestine and France, through the land, actually. Through this connection of land and history and, how would they call it, Asur al-Wasta, medieval time. We are connected, exactly the same.
How are
land,
France and Palestine?
like for example, here, if you see the olive tree, now is the moment of picking the olive tree. I can go and just to my village and the village next, and I pick the olive tree. Where I used to pick it when I was a child in Palestine, in the mountains of Ramallah, that they are all settlers now. They took a lot of this land and built disgusting settlement. They destroy my father's village called Beit Nuba. I never ever been there. And when I tried to go there when I was 16 with what's called a kind of a lover, it was no wall at that time, because there is the wall as well. They built it and they cut the villages and the schools and from each other there in Palestine. I think if your show here or podcast talk about land, you have a lot to do about Palestine, basically. That's why I'm thinking now while I'm talking, actually.
Palestine comes up a lot on this show.
This is the fight of belonging to your own land, that all this colonized, occupied country come to take it away from you and build capitalism, industrialism, disgusting towers and building, and bring other people. So then you don't have your own fruit, you don't have your own vegetables, you don't have your own even water, because they use it for swimming pools and shit like that. This is your show. It's, yeah, if you want, I can send you some names to make some interviews just about the land.
Please do.
I mean, it's the whole blood flood there because of our right of our own land. So yeah, I'm trying to build this film in between the both country, me being here in this peaceful, beautiful place, suffering, talking to the walls, because there's nobody to talk to, because there's nobody to engage to, because everyone is so far away, think that they are so far away from what's happening out there, but actually it's right next to you. If it's keep happening there, it's coming to you. And basically, we are occupied by weapon and violent. All the Western countries are occupied by brain. They think they are on top of the world, but they're really very rare of them understand what is happening, or actually want to understand.
And why
a
do you
lot
think
of them don't want to? They prefer to stay. They prefer to stay in their comfort zone of blindness, because knowledge is power. And if you have knowledge and you don't have the power, you get depressed from what's happening in the world.
I hear you. I hear. I've done a couple of tours in Egypt, and on the second tour, I decided to have a conversation about the fact that we were doing land ceremony and going through the temples of Egypt. And I was like, we can't work here with this land and not talk about what's happening on the other side of the desert. We are this close to Palestine. And we had this amazing conversation where we spoke to everybody that was in the group about what was happening, how they felt about it, and asked them, what can we do? You know, like, how can we do more?
It's
And
an Egyptian group or it's a foreigner
it was
group?
a Western group.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Although we had an Egyptian tour guide there who was very influenced by the media in Egypt. You
The
know,
official media.
it was a heated discussion. There were many people that we had an amazing woman there who actually works with a theatre company in Ramallah, and so knows loads about everything that is going on in Palestine, and was really, really informed. And we had other people there that weren't informed at all. So it was a very, very interesting conversation. And then we had an Egyptian person there that was very influenced by the other side of the conversation. So it was a very interesting conversation. And the thing that, you know, came up for most people, which most people said that they want to do something, they just don't know what they can do. You know, they don't look at it because, like you say, if they look at it, then they're presented with doing something about it, and they don't know what they can do.
That's stupid.
What would you say people can do?
Oh, it's very simple. It's very, very simple what you can do. First of all, we're talking about it, but then we're doing already. Why are you talking about it? And then you make sure when you talk about it, you weaponize yourself. You weaponize what that means. You knowledge yourself. Do you really want to be knowledged? Actually, that's the question. Do you really want to know? Are this interested you to know? Once this interested you, because and what makes you interested for you? And actually, that's also the question. In my opinion, it's very important for us to know what's going on, because we really are controlled. And thanks to the genocide in Gaza that shows us that we're controlled. The world is not led by the voice of the people. So tomorrow, if we have a problem in London, in England, if not the people do, no one will do, because the others are profiting from that. So we can start from there. Do you really want to know how much you are involved of putting your own money to weaponize other country to go and kill other people in Palestine, in Congo, in Sudan, in all this? But Palestine is different, because Palestine, it's needed. Palestine, it's the project of the Zionists. So it's something, it's a lifetime project. It's not like other colonization yet.
Why do you think that is?
We have to answer the first question first, which is what they can do.
Yeah.
People can do a lot, my darling. First of all, you need to understand what's happening. Then you can talk about it. And once you talk about it, then you start to do. After you talk about it and then know more about it, you know very well the boycott. We all doing the boycott. This is very powerful tool and very peaceful tool. And it's working very well. It's just a very simple question for you. Are you willing to minimize your need? Because the people are so needy and they really just don't want to go back to nature and to the land and to the earth and come back to the old days of using what we need, not all what we don't need, like all these extra things we use, all these industrial things we use, all these marketing things we use. Even sitting in Instagram or in Facebook or in WhatsApp, you are helping the industrial of colonization and capitalism and globalization. So there's a lot of things, Habibti. And if you just boycott, you're doing a lot. Support local production. Instead of going to Carrefour market and buy shitty fruit and shitty vegetables, they have no taste and they are actually bad for you. Go to the farmers. Stop buying makeup product and teeth paste. It's simple. It's simple. You see, you can start from there. Once you do that, you're already doing a lot because you are destroying their industrial. And there's other tools. I can write them down in a paper and send them to you. But actually, the question is not, it's not like what we can do. This is a stupid, lazy answer. You really want to do, you will do. You will do. This is why when I was sitting here in the middle of nowhere while a genocide happening, I booked my ticket to go to Palestine. I couldn't cross. I want to go because my sister, she was having a brain surgery because of her cancer. She couldn't go to take her cancer treatment because it's in Jerusalem and because of the checkpoints. I wanted to go. I thought it's the last time I'm going to see my sister. And I couldn't. And I recorded myself because I was helpless. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know who to scream. I didn't know who to hug. I didn't know who to empty my chest. So I opened my phone and I started filming myself crying and recording what's happening, because if I don't do that, I think I will go crazy in my head. And this is doing. In the end, by doing this, I get engaged with other people that they're doing other things. But are you interested in this? Because people, I think we are so selfish as well, my dear. We are, and it's okay to be selfish, but it's important to be aware. It's very important to be aware. And to be aware, you have to be engaged. And to be engaged, you have to be wanted to engage. Not just so busy of your needy life, and in the end, okay, but it's my life, it's my children, I have children, I have to cook, we have to eat. Yes, you can do all of this. What in the last 2 years of this genocide, I can tell you the world have moved a lot. My children, they did never ever talk about the land of Palestine.
Really?
They almost didn't want even to introduce themselves as Palestinian because of the pain they think their mom went through. And I was really frustrated about that. It was bothering me a lot. And I tell you now, it's my children, 11 years old and 15 years old, with lots of young teenagers, friends in the villages of South of France. They have applications for boycott all the products. They have applications in their phone to go to the supermarket and check this is I can buy or not. Simple. And they are younger and much more younger than the group you are sitting with. And they knew what to do.
And why do you think Palestine is different from the Congo and Sudan?
It's that because they want to make the Zionist lobby that's huge, that has nothing to do with the Jewish. Actually, the Jewish people that they live in Palestine hundreds and hundreds of years ago, parallel with the Christian and with the Muslim, in a very open-minded, cosmopolitan land. Amazing life. And there is archive images of that.
Yeah.
Then the Zionist project came, and the Israelis, historian people and writer people talking about that, not only me. This project came, and who's involved with this project? The few billionaires people in the world, like these are few of them. Who's controlling the world? Probably is 20 people.
On this show, we call them the 1%.
Yes, the 1% of the world is controlling the world. And the Zionist people is one of those one control. And they want this land because they wanted to start making the great Israel, like the great America. You see, there is the great America, the great England, and the great France, and now they wanted the great Israel.
But why do you think they do?
It's a very, my simple, humble thing. I mean, for me, it's rich, this country. My country, Palestine, is really, really, really rich. It's rich by the land. It's rich by the earth, by the land. It's, how you say, like winter is winter, summer is, it's really معتدل, and it's rich by the gas. It's lots of gas under the sea in Gaza. It's rich by the geography, strategy place with all the sea and the rivers, and it's connected for the world easy. Like the Gaza's strip, this is a big mina. It can be a big mina. I don't know how to say this in English. For all the connection of the ships and the economy ships and all of that, and the gasoline under the sea city. So it's very rich. They want to take it, and they want to make the great Israel not only in Palestine. So it's not only a question of Palestine. I don't know if you're familiar with that. This is, you can find in Wikipedia.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is not something I invented. It's there all over the internet. The Great Israel is it's Palestine, it's Egypt, is Lebanon, is Syria, is all the way to Saudi Arabia and Iraq, and that's why they destroy Iraq. If you look at it, all the war they invent to destroy our planet. We are all live in this planet. Why we don't just all live in this planet? What is the problem with that? That's my answer. They don't want this. They are so greedy. They want the planet for them. They don't want it for anybody else.
I feel like these lands, and I don't mean the names of the countries that have been created by humans, but the land in the area that this is happening is powerful. There's a reason that all the Abrahamic religions call it the land of God or the Holy Land. You know?
The Holy Land, yes.
And for me, there's something greater happening that is about keeping us separated from God or from the divine by keeping this land in conflict. Every land in the world makes up us as humans, and we hold every land inside of us. Does that make sense? And the targeting of the land that is the direct connection to the divine is part of how we are kept away from our divinity. Same as the targeting from the patriarchy of women, by keeping women disempowered, by keeping women in shame, by keeping women suppressed. The flow of our true creativity as collective humans is stopped. And so, yeah, that's just what I feel, is and I don't even know if it's conscious or just how the patriarchy and the 1% are existing.
It's been existed since hundreds and hundreds of years, and it's again, I feel like we are in a loop for our. I'm distracted as well.
You are one of the few people that I have met as a Western woman that has really lived in the two worlds that are residing in this world right now. Like, you have grown up in a refugee camp in Palestine, and now you live in France. Now you live in is it the south of France?
Yes, it's the south of France. It's the only place I could connect with, honestly, like after living in Paris and a place called Fontainebleau, Spacois. It's the only place I connect with, and it's in the middle of nowhere. There's not much human being in there. It's lots of cows. But again, what connects me with it, it's the land. Actually, it's very similar to Palestine. Like we have in Palestine a place called Sahl Marj bin Amir. It's an area next to Nazareth. I don't know if you know Nazareth. Nazareth is next to, it's in the 48 land, and it's incredible. If you look at it from top, there is some images sometime here from top. The same land, it's brown, green. It's the this yellow flower that it's everywhere. It's the same in Palestine. Lots of flowers they grow here. They grow lavender, the rosemary, the thyme, as I said, the olive, the grapes, the figs. So after 20 years in Egypt, it was not easy to leave and leave. When I say leave, it's not only leaving my work, my friends, but also my language and my culture, and that's another thing. And I believe that every single person decide to quit his own comfort zone again, and where he comes from and where he belongs, and go and dig in this planet for some other place that he could belong to, because of a lot of other reasons in their life, and they are everywhere, a lot of immigrant people all over the world, we know that. And I believe in this is a big courage. It's a big courage. This is a big courage of people to do so. And I'm not sure if I am rare. There is a lot of people, a lot I'm not sure as well, but it's the question of curiosity. It's the question of not to fear of change. It's like you're living in Dahab now. I mean, you don't really live the whole year though, do you?
No. And also, I don't agree with passport privilege, but I have passport privilege.
You do have a passport privilege, of course, because your country is one of the empire's country.
Yeah, no,
So,
and
but your privilegity, you didn't choose it. You didn't choose it.
I understood it, but it was only when I came to Egypt and I started immersing myself more in conversation and culture that was less Western that I really understood passport privilege.
Why? What kind of coincidence that happened that makes you feel that?
Because I started to meet people that, I grew up in London, which was very multicultural, and I grew up a member of the European Union, which I'm now not. And I grew up just thinking that I could move anywhere and go anywhere. And I never really understood until I was in Egypt, speaking to Bedouins who don't have passports, or speaking to...
Yeah, well, Kahreela, that's part of what we were just talking about a while ago. When you decide to get out of this comfort zone and go and engage with the world around you, then you start to be different already, in my opinion.
I agree. I agree. And,
And it's a shame that people, they have this privilegity. They don't know that they are privileged until they actually go and meet this other people in this other places in the world. They don't know, and it's weird for me. Like it's important. It's important because then you start to be how would you say that? You start to be thankful of what you have, basically.
and also want to use it well, It's like if you have privilege, you should use that privilege to make the world better. If you can.
You've been living in Egypt now, of course, you get to know that people cannot actually travel and cannot visit the world as you can. In my case, it's even worse. It's
Yeah.
like they can close the border. I can't even get to in my own country.
Yeah.
In Palestine.
Yeah. You can't go to your own country.
My mother died. I didn't know she was dead. You see, this was also one of the biggest things happened in my life. My mom was sick, and she didn't stay too long sick. That was now 13 years ago. So my family called me. They said, you have to come. Mama is not doing well, and she's in the hospital. It's getting worse. Just book the ticket and come. So I did. I booked the ticket, and I even did a ceremony with my friend in Cairo, in my home, holding hands and praying for her just the night before I leave. And I go in my own because I'm going to see my mama. So I go, I leave, I enter the place, I enter my country. Long story with the borders now. Hopefully, with this new project, I am willing to put a lot of images about this checkpoints distance problem, that it's really blocking the world, the whole people there. It's like a big jail. Long story start. I arrived to Jericho, and when you go there, it's also very racist. Like everyone has a different path. Like you, as an English woman, you wouldn't go with me in my bus. I'm not privileged enough to enter my country direct. So you will be taken, and you will be questioned, because also you choose to go the Palestinian. Why you choose to go to the Palestinian and not to go to direct to Ben Gurion airport and be in the Israeli control? But there is an Israeli control in the Palestinian, where the Palestinian enters. It's all Israeli control everywhere. So for them, they get so defensive from someone like you go to with the Palestinian, and then they take them to go direct to Jerusalem. We waited in Jericho because the buses, they were on top of each other, children, old, young. Finally, I arrived to Ramallah after a huge day of waiting between checkpoint to another, between a border to another, a bus, a taxi, a plane. And the taxi stopped where is my family home, and all I see, normally outside there is a big yard where the children play. This yard was full of chairs. Was chairs. And suddenly they see the taxi stopped, and I hear a loud Quran, like there's a Quran, like loud, very loud. Then immediately I knew that my mom is not there anymore. And this is the funeral of my mom. In this moment, what do I want? I just want my son in my arms. I want my son in my arms. So I called the father of my children. It was not born Ram, and I called him. I said, well, she's not there anymore. I didn't even get to see her. So he booked two tickets for him and my child to come. And they arrived to Jordan. And when they arrived into the border of the Jordanians, they said, you can't cross because the Israeli border doesn't want you to cross. You are American, you can cross. Your son, which is my son, was 3 years old. He can't cross because he's been registered as Palestinian. And they sent him back to Jordan for 3 days until they opened the border for the Palestinian, because the border was open for the privileged people like you, but not for the people that are actually from there. So my son couldn't enter until another 3 days after.
And how does that make you feel?
How does make me feel? I wrote a big. Now, how this makes me feel, now I'm telling you the story. When I wrote this statement 13 years ago, I have it. I can find it for you and send it for you. I was devastated. This is what else? Can you imagine yourself arriving to the England border and not being allowed to enter to your own home, to your own land, to your own people, to your own mom? Because maybe the German took the border, for example. Can you imagine how you will feel at the day of the death of your mom, because the Israelis decide today the border is not open for the Palestinians. It's open for the Americans or for the English or for the Israelis themselves.
I think I would feel displaced and violated.
I am displaced. My family are displaced. My grandfather was displaced. I am displaced. I am displaced by the choice of living outside of my country because I can't find safe or secure in my own country. and I managed to go out, and I still fear for my people and what I can do for. Can you imagine what I was feeling the last 2 years with all this happening there? What do you feel? Now everything goes back as everything normal. They're still hitting Gaza with bombs, and people think that there is a ceasefire. I think we are far away from being connected to Earth. I thought after the COVID and the experience of the COVID, which we all experience, I thought the world will really change. I thought because the whole system collapse in the world because of a virus. What's this tell you? The whole world collapsed, my darling, because of a virus. The whole world. They couldn't do nothing. They looked us at home and they were doing tests like mice in the lab on us with this vaccine they invented. And they want us to pay for this vaccine. And the vaccine was so expensive. And if you don't want to do the vaccine, you will be here. I was touring with my film. It's insane. It's insane. It's insane. I was touring with my friend. They said, if you're vaccinated, you can do the test to travel, but you don't pay. If you're not vaccinated, then you have to do the test for travel, but you have to pay 80 euro each time you do the test. It for me, it's clear that I'm questioning as a person. I respect my brain. I'm a person. I respect my brain. That's why I feel responsible, and I feel I need to react. Not because I'm a Samaher Alqadi, the filmmaker that comes from the refugee camp. I respect my fucking brain, man. I have a brain, I use it, and I respect it. If you decide not to use your brain and not to respect it, just go burn in hell, in my opinion. You may burn in hell because you're not part of protecting this planet. You're not part of protecting this land you are standing in. You are not part of making it to continue for you and the people after you, your children and your grandchildren. You're not there for it. You don't respect your brain. You don't use it. You don't want to. You don't deserve actually to be in this planet. And that's what I would like to achieve at some point as collective movement comes from individual decisions. Like each one has to decide to do that. Not organizations, not associations, not each one has to think like that individually, alone. They need to feed this ball in the head that actually control us and make us lead the world.
And if we want the planet to protect us, then we need to protect the planet.
Obviously. Obviously.
And to me, Palestine is living proof that the planet will protect you.
Exactly.
Because statistically, given the battery that Palestine has, given the amount of arms, there should be nobody left. And there are people left because the land is protecting them, because they are protecting the land, in my opinion.
I think I like your opinion. This is a spiritual opinion, and I like it, and I think it exists. But I'm not sure how much can hold in the face of this ugly arm industrial. It's so scary what they invent to destroy this planet.
And yet the planet is stronger, but it
is, but at some point we have to. You asked me a while ago what we can do. I'm not sure that people are aware of the. Maybe now they start to be aware, and I hope to save this planet for us. But otherwise, it's a disaster. Even these problems in Palestine or Sudan or Congo or all of this country that the Western people think that it's not their problem.
It is our problem.
Of course, it's your problem. Very interesting because it's all connected to what I am working on. They think that they are far away and it's not their problem. They think that it's not. Man, It's your country. It's your country that actually produce the weapon. It's your country that actually sells the weapon. It's your country that create the war to continue producing and selling the weapon. Who's destroying the planet?
And I will say that the people of the country are not they are not their leaders, but they are responsible for keeping those. Like we have to take responsibility for the mad kings. Like we have to. It is our responsibility to not be led by mad kings. To stand up to the misuse of power.
Yeah, but some people that apparently either it's laziness or I don't know what to call it, to be honest with you. I have these discussions even with my children, by the way. And I am really grateful. Yeah, tell me.
In my reflections on privilege, being in Egypt and being in actually many countries in the world at this time of my life, because of my passport privilege, which I am very grateful for, I have also begun to recognize the privilege that the West doesn't have. Last night I was at a birthday party on a roof in Dahab, and there was music. There was a group of people jamming and singing, and I was so moved by how much heart everybody at this party had, how much the music was coming through their heart, how alive everybody's heart was.
Connection,
and
warmth. You guys don't have that.
Connection, love, and me and my friend were laughing. We were like, we wouldn't see a jam like this at a party in England. And I came away and I was like, I feel like my heart has had the kiss of life by these people that are still alive. And so in our Western privilege, it comes at a price. In order to live in that much privilege with that much unfairness in the world, we have to close our hearts.
It's a cost. It's a big cost. It's the cost of life.
It's the cost of your heart being alive.
Yeah, that's the cost of your own life. In my opinion.
And there is, I always ask what happens if we make our hearts alive, then we will feel like those women in your film feel. That we cannot stand again.
I don't want to believe that people don't totally. I don't want to believe, even if it's true, that people in the Western they achieve to a closing heart, because it's dark and it's hard to believe, even though it really exists. That thing, the thing of the feeling toward the difference. Like they can feel their heart pumped for a child from Ukraine or from Paris but they don't feel the heart pumped for a kid from Nigeria or from wherever you want, all these places. They manage to be corrupted in their brain because of the propaganda they've been fed since the day before they were born. We don't want also to. We want to understand where this comes from, because everyone born with a heart. Everyone has a heart. Everyone born with an open, beautiful, natural, connected heart. They just manage to block this heart through all the garbage they feed people with this heart. So it's not actually from where you come from by land, it's where you come from by corruption of brainwashing land.
Although I do think that part of the collective shadow of colonialism is that when your land is a colonizing land and you have lived purely from stolen resources and stolen power, there is a disconnect between you and your land that makes you unsafe and puts you in survival mode.
You think so? Do you think people in general, again, if you look at all these children that have been born and raised in a Western country and have been taught in the school, like I will give you an example of Israel. Let's stay with Israel. It's good. It's good because Israel is a big colonized country. It's the octopus of the colonized country that remain until now very, very there, with like a very proudly there, like proudly there. This country from age really little, from really little, like babies, they teach their kids, really, I'm telling you this, and there is documentation of that. It's not me saying this. They really teach their children that they have to hate the Arabs in general, not only the Palestinians. They have to fight them. They have to kill them. They were promised this land. They are the promised people. Again, it's religion it's talking, and we all know how much religion is affecting people all over the world, not only in the Arab countries. Huh? So when you teach a child and he grow up like this, where is the survival mood come? Why his survival? He thinks that he thinks that he's there to fight for his own land, and it's not his own land anyway. I understand your point coming from England, but all England is not on England. All England become big England because of other countries they've been taken. And America is the same. Voila. So do you actually have a land? In my opinion, also in terms of America, where is America? What is America?
It's an idea.
It's an idea. America is not a land. America is a colonizing idea. It's exactly like the colonizing idea of Israel and the Zionists. It's exactly like any other colonizing idea. They are just too smart to make you think that it's yours, to make you think that it was always belonged to you. They brainwash every single person before he even was born. And you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. And part of the reason that this podcast exists is because I feel that in order for us to stop being in survival mode globally, which is capitalism, right? We need to come back into ceremony with the land. We need to rebuild relationship with our land. That isn't
absolutely.
with our state. That is with
absolutely. I thought that's what I said. That's what I thought after the COVID they will do. You know, that's what I thought they will do. People, they wanted to live from the big cities and go and buy land and plant, and I thought this will happen. Didn't happen.
So how do you think people can come back into ceremony with the land?
Oh my God, how? Just that in my humble, I mean, it's also who can and who can't. Mm-hmm. I think we can start it really, really in a simple way. I don't like to complicated things. I am not a person that is gonna make a speech about how you can connect with land. Just fucking plant a tree where you live. Plant a tree where you live. Plant a tree where you live, even if you're gonna move. Doesn't matter. This is just a simple, this is what I was coming from. I did not decide to connect with land. I come from Palestine, and in Palestine we are connected by land naturally like that. Like my mom in our tiny home in the ALJalazone refugee camp. It's a refugee camp. It's not even like it's refugee camp. But my mom made this little home where were not 9 of us yet. We were at that time 7. The other 2 were born in Ramallah. She made sure that this little yard, this little house, like where the 2 couple Bedouin we visited You see the two couple Bedouin we visited to make the screening of the film. I forget their name.
Yeah.
We had a house
I mean,
that big, exactly that big. What they did, the Bedouin, how they connect with their roots and with their land by raising the goats inside their fucking home. My mom, instead, she will have in this little tiny, like the big as this, a tree of lemon, a tree of grape, all kinds of spices with rosemary, thyme, coriander. All this is the connection. It's very simple. Come back to what you can do, not what the machine can do for you and what the system can do. It's you come back to what's so simple to do. It's to plant a little tiny tree in your. If you don't have a yard, if you don't have a garden, make it in the shelf in the top of your balcony. I just planted lavender before I had your conversation with something like that. With something like that. I put it in something like that, and then when it grows, I will bring it to the garden. My project that I will keep talking about it until it's happened. You're not in the phone. I could have showed you now. Just next to my home here, there is a land that it's perfect for olive trees. The sun is always there and it's surrounded with big trees that protect from wind. I would love to make an association if you can help me or you have people to fund my project. It's called Agriculture Culture Association. And I want to put tons of olive trees where I can produce olive and produce oil. That's how you connect with land. Just appreciate it. Appreciate it. When you plant in the earth, you appreciate. You appreciate what can give you this land. That's a simple connection and make you really connect to the land without big words. This is your own ceremony individually. And if you want to make a bigger ceremony, make it. In Palestine, we have a day called the Day of Land. And it's in it's in the 30th of March. 30th of March or 30th of November. I think it's 30th of March. I will search the date exactly for you. We have it. This is why I told you from the beginning, if you want to talk about the land, go to Palestine. Palestine is the whole fight they're doing is for the land.
Palestine is the living proof that
Palestine is the living proof of what is the connection between you and land in the whole world. We have a day in Palestine called the Day of Land, يوم الأرض in Arabic. And in يوم الأرض, I remember we used to celebrate in that day in the school since I was little. And we do it, of course, the celebration mainly. First thing we do is we plant the olive tree. We go groups, either with schools or with the family or with individual groups, and we just take the olive tree and we go and plant it plant it anywhere, like where you live. Choose the area by the vote with the group. That's the first thing. And then of course there is the dancing thing, the traditional dance and the traditional dresses and the traditional food, that it's all coming from the land, which is olive oil, za'atar. I don't know if you know za'atar, thyme. I bring it. My children are addicted to it. I do it for them with rolling bread and olive that made from the olive tree. This is the main three things without, of course, making the cheese from the goat and making the eggs from the chicken. This is our breakfast in Palestine. And this is how we celebrate the Day of Land. Beside the songs and the dabka, all of that.
I have one final question for this episode that probably has to be called the Day of Land. Who should we have on the podcast next?
Wow, there's a lot of names. Depends what it's all about the land. Well, I have he's not really a friend, but the guy, he just popped in my head now, but there is a lot others. His name is Ihab, and he's an anthropology. He actually tour all over the world. He's quite known. He's an anthropology scientist, something like that, and he tours all over the world, talk about land. Like he's all
Amazing.
over the world, just talking about land and connection and the occupation and all of that. I think in your show it's important to talk about occupation, because occupation is occupating the land, and talking about where the land is exists and what it comes, what comes from where, and what's the traditional of the land, what's the culture of the land, what's the celebration of the land, what is the songs that made for land. We have songs, traditional songs, especially for the land and for each season. Can you imagine? For each season, I can send you a collection of traditional songs.
Please do.
And I'm thankful that we have this the last part of this conversation, because I think I would love to include the Day of Land in Palestine in my project. It's a big connection. It's a big connection with with what I'm trying to say in the land of South of France. I'm trying to connect the land of South of France of the land of South Palestine. The
There is
actual spiritual
there is a
human
spiritual
connection.
connection. I'm
Of
seeing
course.
dots.
And thoughts.
You have to
Huh?
look into the suppression of the Qatar in France.
You kidding me? You kidding me? You know about that?
I do know about that. We have to talk more.
No, stop. You have to listen to this. The genocide of the Qataris people is in the village that 30 minutes away walking from me here.
Okay, Land Tantra is coming to you. Ceremony is
I'm not joking. I went there in November last year with my friend to swim in November in the water coming from the mountain. And I discovered I am in San Marcel village, where they killed more than 300 people all at once, burned. And I was there to wash myself and pray for Gaza and Palestine. And I was like this, suffocated. And all I could say, I will tell your story. I will tell your story. To the people, they were killed here. Half houses left, half windows. Yes, of course, there is a connection between the Qataris genocide and the Palestinian genocide.
I
Of
want
course,
to
it's already written in my notebook. Yeah, yeah.
We have to speak more. I want to come to your land in France.
Come if you want.
Thank you
Have the
so much. How do people watch your film?
The film is already in a platform called Think. And this platform is, I take a share of it, but it's really, 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 really little. I am studying in my head, or thinking in my head, of putting the film public on YouTube or in a platform where people can just go and watch it without paying. Even though I thought I could get paid from my own film, but I don't think this exists in the art industry. So they can go to this link and put as I want film documentary Samaher Alqadi, and it will show. And this unfortunately is only in Europe. So soon I will add a new link for the public with no payment, because I want everyone to see this film. I am not yet decided, because it's not only me. It's the production, and it's the sales agent, and it's a whole team behind it. So thank you, Habibti. It was lovely talking to you.
Shukran, Awi. Thank you so much.
Shukran to you too.
If today's episode touched your heart and you want to come into greater relationship with Mother Earth, visit landtantra.com and get involved. Your truth is part of this conversation, and we would love you to reach out on socials and let us know how it landed. And if it really inspired you, we hope you share it with others. Let's add more wow to our world.